Hi, guys. We are still in 11-6. 11-6 is all about taking a list of numbers and analyzing it in many, many different ways. So we found our mean, median, and mode. We found our range. We did a stem and leaf plot, a bunch of different ways of taking a list of numbers. So today, as you learned in our live session, we are going to be doing a box and whisker plot with a list of numbers. So you guys kind of already did this a little bit in our live session, but let's just make sure that we took away from that activity what we were supposed to. So a box and whisker plot is a way to display data, a list of numbers, and you're going to create a box in the middle, and the box is created by your quartiles. Now think about it. Quartiles, the word quart, kind of like quarter, means four parts. So what we did in our in-class activity today was we took our data and we split it into four equal pieces with the same amount of numbers in each piece. So that's where you get your quartiles. Now, the middle quartile is your median. And so we really only talk about the first and third quartile. So the first and third quartile will be the edges of your box, and then your median will be right smack dab in the middle of your box. There are whiskers then coming off of the box, which are just nice straight lines, and the whiskers are connecting the edges of the box with the minimum and the maximum. So the min and the max have to be at those at the very edge of your box and whisker plot. These five numbers together are called your five number summary. So our five number summary includes three medians, your actual median, and then your quartile one and your quartile three, and then your minimum and your maximum. So sometimes we will ask you to write a five number summary. Those are the five numbers we're looking for. We're looking for all the edges in your box and whisker, the beginning of it, the edge of the box, there's a line in the middle of the box, the other edge of the box, and then the end. Okay. So again, quartiles, we always start by just taking the data and dividing it in half. And then you're going to take each individual half and divide that in half and divide that in half. And that's how we get our quartiles. So it's a lot of, fingers and counting towards the middle. And then the last new thing that we learned today, and I talked about this a little bit in the live session, was the interquartile range. So we have our actual range, and our actual range is like from the beginning to the end of the data. And we took like the biggest number minus the smallest number for our actual range. But there's also an interquartile range. The interquartile range is basically how long is the box. Now, the box is created from the first quartile and the third quartile. So if you do the third quartile minus the first quartile, then you'll get your interquartile range. And all of these numbers should be positive, so just make sure you're always doing the bigger number minus the smaller number. All right, that's all of our vocabulary, so let's go ahead and make a box plot. Notice that I've already put the numbers in numerical order for you. With pretty much with everything, you need the numbers in numerical order. The only time you might not is when you're just calculating the mean, but we usually do more than just calculate the mean. So always helpful to have your numbers in numerical order. We're going to start by finding the median. Now, to find the median, normally I would stand at my whiteboard and I would put my fingers and count towards the middle, right? So we start on the 62 and the 86, then 64 and 86, 64 and 84, 68 and 84, 70 and 80, 74 and 78. Now I can't go any further. 74 and 78. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line right in the middle. That is not a very straight line, guys. Sorry about that. So right in between, halfway between 74 and 78 is my median. You'll notice if we count how many numbers are on each side, right? The left side has 6 numbers and the right side has 6 numbers. So definitely like right in the middle. Now I need to find halfway between 74 and 78, and maybe you already know what it is. If you don't know what it is, you can always add them together and divide by 2. So I got 76. Now a box plot is graphed above a number line. So you'll see I made a number line. In your number line, you have to make sure that it can fit all of the numbers from your list. So my list starts at 62 and goes to 86. So I definitely need my number line to include numbers between 62 and 86. Now, that's not a very big range of numbers, so I counted by twos on my number line. If you had an even smaller range of numbers, let's say you just went from like 10 to 20, you could count by ones because you don't need it to contain very many numbers. If you have a larger range of numbers, like from 50 to 250, right, then count by tens or count by 20s or something like that, right? So, depending on how big the range is of the entire problem, that will help you determine like what should I count by. But you do need to include that number line along the bottom. We just decided that 76 was the median. So above the number 76, I'm going to put a dot where my median will go. You also could just draw a line right now. The median is going to be a line. All right. Now I need to find where quartiles, I need to split it into 4 even pieces. Right now I only have 2. So now I'm going to take my first half of numbers from 62 to 74 and I'm going to find the middle of those. So 62 and 74, 64 and 70, 64 and 68, and then that's where the split happens right here. Again, you want an equal amount of numbers on each side of that line. So 3 numbers on the left, 3 numbers on the right. And just like with the 74 and 78, if you don't know what's in the middle of 64 and 68, you can add and divide by 2, and I got 66. So my first quartile is at 66. That's going to be the beginning edge of my box. All right, going again on the other side, we need 3 on each side because, again, it should be equal amounts, fourths. Right, so right here, now halfway between 84 and 84 is 84. I mean, it's all 84. You can always add and divide by 2, but it's 84. So 84 is my third quartile. Now, this is what's going to create the box. So the edges are at 66 and 84. You need that line at the 76 as well. And then, make your box out of that. We also need our min and our max to make our whiskers. So, our min is at 62. And our max is at 86. And then you just connect those to the edges of the box. And there I have my box and whisker. The 5-number summary is from the 5 different places, right? We've got our median, our quartile 1, our quartile 3, and then our min and our max. All right, and then we also talked about interquartile range. So interquartile range is how big the box is. And you do your quartile 3 minus your quartile 1. So 84 minus 86. So my interquartile range, or my IQR, is 18. 84 minus 66 is 18. There's my min and my max. All right, guys. So now you should know how to create your own box and whisker. In our second video, we're going to talk about how to decide if there are outliers in our list of data. So I'll see you in our second video.